So I started to self-medicate. I started to cut. I started to throw up. I started to do everything I could to distract myself from the fact that I was starting to not feel well again and that I had this diagnosis of something I was going to have to live with forever. And it was really difficult for me. I started to try to do everything I could to fight against it. And what I didn't know, as I was partying and continuing to travel down this path, was that every single time that I was self-medicating and doing these things, I was actually putting myself at risk of having another episode. And that in self-medication, I was making myself more depressed or putting myself in a position that I might get manic. And this was actually when I first started to become manic. My doctor had put me on Prozac because we had the diagnosis of bipolar, but we still weren't quite sure. We thought maybe a depression medication might work. But what I didn't know was that for a lot of people with bipolar disorder, you can't take a lot of depressants. I think it's SSRIs that can cause you to go into a mania. So I had my first mania at that time.
Prozac made her feel good for about 36 hours.
And
then?
And I thought this was the miracle drug and that everything was great. And then I started to speed up and I started to really get to the point where I was really anxious, agitated, all of the classic signs of mania. I started talking too fast, thinking too fast. I started to actually have thoughts of not wanting to kill myself, but of chopping my finger off with a butcher knife or jumping off a roof, or having really thoughts that weren't normal for me. Obviously, those are not normal thoughts for anyone. So I was really starting to ramp up in this mania, and we realized it was the Prozac, and my doctors gave me some anti-anxiety pills while I tried to go back down from the mania. But in fact, it was too early for that, and I ended up taking them all and overdosing on anti-anxiety pills because I knew that it was time for me to go to the hospital and that I needed help. And for some reason in my mind, it made sense that if I took all of these pills, that I would somehow get the help that I needed.